Hello everyone, Elite TV Agent here, and it seems like Dafik decided to add some more lore, deaths, Easter eggs, and old characters back to the series, because after watching this episode I was absolutely speechless. We found out who is responsible for the Skibidi toilet creations, and in this video I will analyze it in detail. Now here we go. The episode begins right at the ending of part 1. We hear the banging noise, and it suddenly stops for a few seconds. Then a giant hole appeared after an explosion. We were greeted by a cameraman. I first thought this was one of the reinforcements, but sadly it wasn't. We see a mass toilet dropping him down to kill us, meaning that the cameraman was a decoy. Maybe it was one of the dead cameramen we saw in episode 69 part 1 with the funny pose. But this one seems to be alive, so I don't know. After the toilet drops down the cameraman, we saw an acid tank on his back, which really confirms that this was a decoy. After a hole appeared on the ground and no one died, the toilet decided to jump down himself, showing that he can also be a decoy, because he has two of the acid's tanks on him. After he jumps down, he pierces one of the cameramen, and everyone uses their stunt guns in him, which seem to work a little as Dark Speakerman throws his two knives on his eyes, blinding the toilet. This cameraman decided to one-up the large speakerman and the large cameraman by sacrificing himself by pulling the toilet down the hole with him, saving everyone, because as I said, this toilet is also a decoy and it was going to explode. Plungerman tried stopping him, but he already did it. We will never forget this cameraman. May his brave soul rest in peace. Subscribe to pay respect. Before we get deeper into the analysis, I just noticed one of the ghost cameramen. People are saying it's Sim cameraman, but I don't think it's him. Most likely it's the twins that Dark Speakerman had to sacrifice, but that's besides the point. Plungerman picked up the gun on the ground that belonged to the brave hero that died. Right before the elevator started shaking, it was going to fall. Dark Speakerman swiftly picked up the lucky cameraman and carried him to safety, as Plungerman jumps and climbs the wall by punching it with the help of one of his upgrades. As he continues climbing, he looks down to see that the elevator is falling. We see Dark Speakerman lending him a hand, which shows us the leaks frame Dafik sent to Data Bio. And I was right when I said Dark Speakerman was helping someone. But Plungerman slapped away his hand, clearly still mad at what happened at episode 69 part 1. I really hope that Plungerman forgives him, because the handshake they did in episode 66 was so damn legendary, and they make a powerful duo. You will know what I mean when we analyze furthermore. As Plungerman reached up, Lucky Cameraman shows us the way after looking on his tablet, and if you look at Dark Speakerman, he looks a bit sad after being rejected by his best friend. As Plungerman starts walking to the left hallway, we notice that the toilets are looking for us. We took off our flashlights at tune on night vision mode, which I didn't even know we had. As we make our way to the door, the power suddenly turns back on and we were spotted. The toilet prepared an attack, but Lucky Cameraman opened the door and we literally start speedrunning through door to door. But right here we saw something. I cannot make sure what it is, so make sure to tell me down below. And we saw the door that shown to us in the leaked frame. But I don't think we were ready to see what was behind this door, because it really expand the loop of this entire verse. As we got inside, Lucky Cameraman closed the door behind us. As Plungerman takes a look around, we can see there's a toilet hiding here, waiting for the perfect time to come out. There were a lot of things that can be seen here. We saw a giant tentacle that looks like the one that belongs to the quiet toilet from episode 42. Then we saw Titan Speakerman's knife. But how did they get this? I honestly do not know the answer. But we also see Titan Cameraman's arm after he lost it in episode 65. Seems like the toilets are gathering parts of the Alliance to use it on themselves for upgrades or something. If you look to the button left, we also see Titan Speaker Man's old speaker that he lost from Titan TV Man way back in episode 43 if I'm correct. And there's Jetpack. I don't know who this belongs to, but it's freaking huge. If we look at Titan Cameraman's hand, we see that he's showing a thumbs up. There's also weapons here, but later these will play a role. If you look to the bottom left, you can see the giant camera that belongs to the spider camera that died in episode 13 by the flying toilet with lasers. Plungerman walks over to the table on the right and picks up a paper written in Skibidi toilet language that unfortunately I can't understand. But we see the Skibidi scientist and the Astro toilet. I think they're trying to compare them or something. But this lab seems really suspicious. I suggest watching other analysis channels for better details and information. I'm not really a good analysis YouTuber, but that's besides the point. But as we looked up, we see something more crazy than the Astro toilet speaking. We actually see the secret agent shaking hands with a scientist. and take a good look at the scientist. This is actually the male 07 model that Dafik used in his other series, and in that series he's also a scientist. But if we read this, it says, Alpha Hills Lab new administrator, government-sponsored underground laboratory assigned a new administrator. Details and reasons of the deal remain in secret. Before I get into that, I just read, look at this scientist. We saw him in episode 16, when a camera toilet went undercover. He also got upgraded to the professor toilet in episode 68 part 2. Now back to this. I think the secret agent made a deal with the government and he now owns this laboratory. The secret agent is also the smartest character in the series, so the person that started the whole Skibidi war is the secret agent. He created it and turned everyone into one. But it's a mistake. Using some chemicals, he was able to develop godlike abilities. I know this sounds childish and stupid, but it's possible. If we look at it again, it also says, February 7th, 1979. All this can be taking place in the year 1979. And the first Skibidi toilet episode was on February 7th, and the deal was made on the 7th. And the setting of the laboratory is in a place called Alpha Hills as shown. So the day the secret agent got this laboratory, he immediately got working on experiments and accidentally created the Skibidi virus. That's all the theories I have about this. As Plunger Man looks at Lucky Cameraman, he's holding a book with the TV symbol, and it looks pretty old. I'm guessing in this book is all the technology the TV race has and how to make them. That's how Skibidi scientists got his hands on them. So someone is collaborating with him. If we look at the background, we see Dark Speakerman staring at a protective lens, a pair of headphones, and a jetpack. But he seems more interested in the pair of headphones. All calm and quiet moments were over when a strange tentacle shows up that looks exactly like the one we saw in part 2 of episode 69. It grabs the Lucky Cameraman and throws him, breaking some glass. As we look, we see the quiet toilet from episode 42, and he got some upgrades. And he also has a TV like the Skibidi scientist. We tried fighting him off, but he used the red TV beam on us. And for the first time, we see how this looks in a POV. There's a red text that said, "End yourself," in backwards. Plungerman was gonna to rip his head off, but you can see that he was trying to fight it. Dark Speakerman pushed away the cameraman and ran up to us, blocking away the light. We turn and fall to the ground, and we put on the protective lens that was given to us by large cameraman. But this lens is circle as Dafik changed the others to a rectangular shape. But that's besides the point. As we got up, the other cameraman sadly killed himself and Dark Speakerman was getting beat up. Plunger Man throws his spiky plunger, breaking the TV, and we shoot him in his eyes with the gun we picked up earlier. As Dark Speakerman used his sound waves on him, we take the plunger and finish him off, killing him for good. We looked at Dark Speakerman and he nods at us, and his headphones is destroyed. We walked us to a dead cameraman and took his device. I don't think he's gone for good. Perhaps he will survive because this is the Lucky Cameraman we're talking about. There's a message on his tablet, but it's hard to read. Dark Speakerman breaks a glass and takes some weapons, as Plungerman does the same, only taking some headphones and a jetpack. We open the door and prepare for battle. We FLIs to a corner with Dark Speakerman following us, and the episode ends. I think Plungerma will eventually forgive Dark Speakerman, but besides that, Lucky Cameraman may pull through, because I don't think he'll die from this little injury. Because at the end of the day, this is the Lucky Cameraman we're talking about who is collaborating with the secret agent. Speaking of the secret agent, I have a theory from my Discord server. I think it might have a secret scene in which the blue suit cameraman is still alive and he takes some upgrades for himself, and we see a laser cannon shot which peeks to a corner. Turns out it's the large laser cameraman to save the Alliance, and leaves with the rest of Infiltration Squad and goes to the outside after 4 episodes. Shout out to Titan Camera Cool for this interesting theory. Now I think after the secret agent got his abilities, he also created the cameraman Speakerman and the TV men to start a war to kill the toilets. But if he's the strongest character, why can't he just end the series? I do not know. Perhaps he want a worldwide war between them to watch for his own entertainment. I don't think he really a good or a bad guy. And if you take a look at his tie, it's the same as when we saw it here, but here it's black. It resembles some cameraman's tie. But I will really talk and analyze this episode more, but I'm kinda busy in real life. So this video will be 10 minutes. Make sure to join my Discord to be always updated, and subscribe and like for more. Elite TV Agent out.